Hello everybody, I'm Isha Gupta. Welcome back to my channel. This is the second video on the digital electronics series. In the first video, we discussed about the analog to digital signals, the conversion from analog to digital involving the sampling, quantization and the encoding process. In this video, we'll be learning about the number system. So let's get started. Since our childhood, we have been knowing the decimal number system. The decimal number system has a base of 10 because there are 10 digits which are possible and they go from 0 to 9. So a decimal number, that is 7853, is equivalent to 7853. This all of us know. This is because we were told about the positional weightages which were as per the power of 10. So whenever we have a number, we know that we start with the first place, that is the units place, and then we have tens, 100, 1000, 10,000 and so on. So the number 7853 is 7000, that is 7 into 10 to the power 3 plus 8 into 10 to the power 2 plus 5 into 10 to the power 1 plus 3 into 10 to the power 0, that is 7853. So in general, if you have any number system with a base r, then the possible digits will be 0 to r minus 1 and the positional weightages will be as per the power of the base, that is r. If I have a number system with the base, that is r, then it means that there are r possible digits and the digits are ranging from 0 to r minus 1. The positional weightages are r to the power 0, r to the power 1, r to the power 2, 3, 4 and so on up to any place. With this thing in mind, we can now learn any number system. So any number system would be represented in this particular way, in which we write down the number and the base is mentioned as a subscript. Let us begin with the first number system, which is the binary number system. The base is 2 and hence there are only two possible digits, that is 0 and 1. The positional weightages are 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1 and hence 2, 3, 4 and 5. This makes the weightage is equal to 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64 and so on. So if you have a binary number, let's say 1011, then we write it corresponding to the positional weightages and we get that the equivalent answer for this is 1 into 8 plus 0 into 4 plus 1 into 2 plus 1 into 1. So you see, we are just following the decimal number system process, but this time we have different positional weightage depending on the base of the number. So let me ask you one question, that if the binary number is, let's say, 1011.11. So now I have a decimal point. Then what is the decimal equivalent for this? How will we convert it? A hint is given. For the fractional numbers like this that is given, the positional weightages will be the negative powers of the base after the decimal point. So it is as simple as that on the left side of the decimal point, this is the same concept, but after the decimal point, you have to follow and continue with the negative powers of the base. So after this, I'll have 2 to the power minus 1, 2 to the power minus 2. And hence, if I talk about general any base, this would be after the decimal points, r to the power minus 1, r to the power minus 2, and so on. So let's get back. So if we understand this, we can easily solve the question given. So the number is 11011 and there was a decimal point here and then we had 11. So I wrote it corresponding to the positional weightages and we get the answer as 27.75 whenever we multiply the binary number with the positional weightage. And you can see after the decimal point we had negative powers of 2. Let's get to another number system, which is called the octal number system. Now, as the name suggests, the base is 8 and the digits possible are from 0 to 7. The positional weightages are now in the power of 8, and hence a octal number 123.4 base 8 is equivalent to, I have to write the positional weightages. You know that we'll start from this point, we need to start with 8 to the power 0, 8 to the power 1 and 8 to the power 2. So hence I have 1 into 8 to the power 2 plus 2 into 8 to the power 1 plus 3 into 8 to the power 0, and because 4 is after the decimal point, hence it is multiplied with 8 to the power minus 1, and I get the answer 83.5 in decimal. Similarly, if I have another question for you, that 26.24 in octal, what is it in decimal? Again, you will follow the same procedure. We will have over here, this 6 will be multiplied with 8 to the power 0, 2 will be multiplied by 8 to the power 1, and then after the decimal point, 2 multiplied by 8 to the power minus 1 and 4 multiplied by 8 to the power minus 2. We get the answer 22.3125 in decimal. Then we have another number system which is called hexadecimal, and this is a special one because this number system has a base of 16 and the possible digits are 0 to 15. But in this, the digits from 0 to 9 are same like in the decimal number system, but after that 10 is represented as capital A, 11 as B, 12 as C, 13 as D, 14 as E and 15 as F. So you need to understand that the numbers 10 to 15 are represented by the alphabets A to F. So if I have a number and the procedure remains the same for the conversion, you just need to multiply it with the powers of 16. So if I have a question like B44B in hexadecimal needs to be converted to decimal, then what do? We'll multiply the numbers with the positional weightage. So you know we start with 16 to the power 0, and we need to also see that B actually means 11. So I multiply this with 11. Then 4 into 16 to the power 1, again 4 into 16 to the power 2, and then 11, that is B, into 16 to the power 3. Add them all and you will get the answer. So I have two questions for you, that is, one is given in the base of 5 and we need to convert it to decimal, and the other one is again a hexadecimal which needs to be converted to decimal. So please write the answers in the comment section and try to analyze that this number system which is having a base 5 is nothing but you just need to know that you have to multiply with the positional weightage of the base. So try them out and please give the answers in the comment section. Let's move further. Now we'll do the other way around. Till now we had converted the binary to decimal and octal to decimal and hexadecimal to decimal. So let us learn that how can I convert decimal to other number systems. To convert the decimal number to other bases, we need to repeatedly divide the decimal number with that base and we note the remainder at every step. We will stop the division whenever the quotient that you obtain is less than the base. Okay. So let's try to understand with the help of an example. Let's say I am being given the question that I have to convert a decimal number 41 to binary. So what did I need to start with? As per the process, I need to divide with the base. So let me write the integer or the number that I want to convert, that is 41, and I write down the base over here, that is 2. I start to divide and you know that 2 into 20 is actually 40. So 41 minus with 40 is 1. So basically I'm writing the quotient here and I'm writing the remainder here. So I keep doing this process and I'll stop whenever this quotient that I obtain is less than the base. So let us continue. At the next step I'll have 2 into 10, that is 20. The remainder would be 0. Again I'll divide. 2 into 5 is 10. Again the remainder is 0. 2 2s is 4. I have a remainder 1. And finally 2 1s is 2. I get the remainder 0. And you see this quotient is less than the base, that is 2. And hence you have to stop. And how do we write the answer? You write the answer in the direction of the arrow. That is, we start from the bottom and move in the upward direction. So the conversion for 41, which is a decimal number, to binary is 101001. And in fact, you can verify this also. So let me just show you this thing. The answer is 101001. So if I know that my answer is 101001, and let's say I convert it to decimal, then I know the positional weightages. This is 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3, 4 and 2 to the power 5. So this becomes actually 1 into 32 plus 1 into 8 plus 1 into 2 to the power 0, which is 32 plus 8 plus 1, and yes, this is 41. So hence verified. This is verified. Let's get back. So in this way I can convert, and let's see now I want to convert a decimal number to octal base. So the same procedure, you just write the number that is given for to be converted over here, and then the base, you will divide this number by the base, and I know 8 into 19 is 152. I am left with 1 as the remainder. Then 8 2s is 16 and I am left with 3 as the remainder. This quotient that I get is less than the base, and hence I stop. So I get the answer from bottom to top, 231 in octal. Let's get back to another example. This time I am trying to convert a decimal number to hexadecimal. Again, you do the same thing. Write the number over here, 642. Write the base over here and start the division. So 16 into 40 is 640, and hence I get the remainder, that is 2. Then 16 2s is 32 and I get the remainder, that is 8. The quotient that you get over here is less than the base, so no need for more division, and hence your answer is 282 in hexadecimal. Now I have an interesting question for you, that let's say I have some fractional part. Now what to do? So you have a fractional number that is 0.6875 in decimal to be converted to binary. So this will not have the division process, but a little bit different. So let's read about it. For fractional numbers, instead of the division, we'll multiply with the base. So this time you're not dividing, you're multiplying with the base, that is 2. And in which we need to convert. So whichever base you want to convert, you will multiply the number with that base. Start the multiplication. At every step of that multiplication, the integer part will be saved, and the new fractional part that you get will be again multiplied by the base. So what I need to do, whenever I multiply with the base, I'll save the integer part that is before the fraction, before the decimal, and then I will carry forward the fraction that I obtain to the next step, again multiply, again keep saving the integers and taking the fractional part again to the next division. So this process is repeated until the multiplication results to either 0, or I have some repeating pattern, or I have some sufficient number of digits obtained. So let us try this. Following this procedure, if I do the conversion, 0.6875 multiplied by 2, I get 1.3750. I save 1 because that is before the decimal, and I take forward the fraction, the new fraction, to the next step. 0.3750 into 2 becomes 0.7500. I save again 2, carry forward 0.7500 to the next step. I get 1.5. I keep 1 with me. Then I multiply 0.5 again with 2, I get 1. So now after the decimal you are getting all zeros. So even if you continue this multiplication process, nothing will change. You are going to get zeros only. So actually we have done the conversion, but this time the answer is written for the fractional conversions. You write it from top to bottom, not from bottom to top as in the previous case. So you need to remember all these things, and hence my answer is 0.685 in decimal becomes 0.1011 in binary. Let's see another example. This time we are going for an octal number. So I have an octal number that is 0.513, a decimal number 0.513, and I want to convert it to octal. So because this is a fractional number, I'll start multiplication instead of division. So I have 0.513 multiplied by 8, I get 4.104. I save 4, carry forward 0.104, multiply by 8, I get 0.832. Keep 0, carry forward the fractional part, and so on. I repeat this process. But in this example, you can see that I'm not getting any zeros, or I don't know where to stop. So in such cases, you can do the conversion up to significant number of places. Like I have obtained somewhere around 6 digits, and hence it is more than enough. Thus, I can stop at this point, and to represent my answer, I can say 0.406517, and then I put dot 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 to signify that this can continue further as well. So let's now move to something else. So we have learned about decimal to binary, decimal to octal, decimal to hexadecimal. Now we discuss about the next thing, that is octal and hexadecimal to binary and vice versa. So this will include octal to binary and hexa to binary, and the other way around, that is binary to octal and binary to hexa. So to do this, we need to understand one thing, that since 2 to the power 3 is equal to 8 and 2 to the power 4 is equal to 16, each of the octal digit would correspond to 3 binary digits, and each of the hexadecimal would correspond to 4 binary digits. So to understand this line, I can focus on this particular table. What are we doing in this table? You can verify this by starting in this way, that these are the decimal numbers that are given to you from 0 to 15, and one by one we try to convert them to binary. So you know how to convert decimal to binary, so you can verify each one of them. Then we also know how to convert decimal to octal, and I know the first 8 digits would be the same, that is 0 to 7, but beyond that I'll have some significant conversion from decimal to octal. You know the process, we can even verify this. And then in hexadecimal, if I talk about, I can represent each of these numbers without any conversion, because hexadecimal has possible 16 numbers. And that is why it is said that hexadecimal is popular among the computers, because shorter patterns of hex characters are easier to recognize as compared to the longer patterns of ones and zeros. So they take some low amount of memory as compared to saving in the terms of binary. So once you verify this table, you can understand that if I convert octal to binary, I can understand that there are 3 digits in binary which correspond to 1 digit in octal. You can see that if I say that I have 3 bits, then I know that the positional weightages as per binary would be 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1 and 2 to the power 2. This is 4, 2 and 1. Now using these 3 positional weightages, I can represent my 8 octal numbers easily, because the maximum, because you know that the octal numbers range from 0 to 7. Okay, and if suppose I am using 3 bits, then I can represent the minimum number, which is all these positional weightages given as 0. Okay, and this will become, the number will also be 0, and the maximum number that I can represent is making all the positions as 1. So when I do that, then what do I get? 4 plus 2 plus 1, that is 7. So you can understand that it is sufficient to use 3 bits in order to represent a octal number. Similarly, if I use 4 bits, then in that case, if you use 4 bits, then you will have 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 0 and 2 to the power 3. This is 8, 4, 2, 1. And now you can represent the minimum number, that is all zeros. So this is 0 only. And the maximum could be all ones, that is 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1, that is 15. So this will do all that you require for hexadecimal. Hence it is said that for hexadecimal I need 4 bits and for octal I need 3 bits. Let's get back. So once we understand this, the conversion process becomes very simple for us. In order to convert from binary to octal, we just need to make group of 3 bits starting from the decimal point, and we move towards left and right, both the directions, and then we write down the corresponding octal digit assigned to each of the group. In case of binary to hexadecimal, the same process needs to be done, but now you make groups of 4 bits. So let us see through examples. I have the first example. This is a big binary number given to you. You need to convert it to octal. So what did you do? You start from the decimal point, move in the left and the right direction, start making groups of 3. So I'm making groups of 3 bits each. If I have insufficient number of bits over here, you can add zeros. Similarly, I make groups on the right side of the decimal point as well. And now I write down the corresponding octal number. So this is 2 because this is 4, 2, 1. So you know this has to be 2. This is 4, 2, 1. This has to be 3. 4, 2, 1. This is 1. And so on. This is 5. This is 1. And this is 2. So the answer is 2315.12 in octal. Similarly, if I want to convert a binary number to hexadecimal, then I'll start from the decimal point, make groups of 4. So when I do this, if you have insufficient number of bits, you can add zeros. At both the things, I need to add zeros. And then I write the hexadecimal equivalent. Now in this case, this is 8421. So that's why this is 4. 8, 4 becomes 12, and 12 in hexadecimal is represented as C. 8421, that is 12 plus 1, that is 13, represented as D. And over here you will get 2 and 8. So the answer is 4CD.28 in 16. Then if I want to do the other way around, you want to convert the octal or hexadecimal to binary, then it's very simple. You just need to write the 3-bit equivalent in case of octal conversion and 4-bit equivalent in case of hexadecimal conversion. So as an example, if I have 673.124, it is an octal number. I need to convert it to binary. So you just need to do one that tick one by one each of the digit and just write down the 3-bit equivalent for them. So 6 is 421, that is 110. 7 is 421, 111. 3 is 011, 1 is 001, and so on, 2 and 4. And here's the answer. As simple as that. Similarly, if you want to convert a hexadecimal to binary, again, what do? Now I write the 4-bit equivalent for each of the digit. So in this particular question, I have 306.D. I need to convert it to binary. So what do? I write down 0011 and then 0000, 0110, and then D is 13. That is why it is 8, 4, 2 and 1. That makes it 13. So in this way, I get the answer for the binary conversion. Now I have some question for you. This is, I need to convert octal to hexadecimal and hexadecimal to octal. So I'll just give you a hint for this. To do such type of thing, what you need to do is that, so we are just left out with one particular thing, that is, we need to convert octal to hexadecimal or the vice versa. So when you are trying to do something like this, you need to choose an intermediate stage, which is binary. So for doing this, I'll first do what? I'll do octal to binary, and then I'll go from binary to hexadecimal. Similarly, if I'm doing the other way around, I'll go from hexa to binary first, and then I'll come back to octal. So you know these two things, and now you can try both these questions in for converting the octal numbers to hexadecimal or hexadecimal to octal, and you need to get the intermediate stage, that is binary. So with this process, you can try these two questions. Okay, so we have discussed about the number system and we have learned about the conversion process. If you like this video, then please like, share and subscribe, and be with us to join for more videos. In the next video, we will discuss about the arithmetics involved with the number system. To download these notes, you can find the link in the description box.